So we're out taking a little hike in a small section of the Sourlands. It's a pretty cool place. And while I'm walking along, I'm thinking, what do I want to talk about next about dog training? And since we just did an agility session together, and now we're going for a hike, I think I will talk about those two things and how it benefits dogs, their lifestyle, their training, their behavior. So I think that's what I'm going to talk about today. Hopefully I don't run out of batteries before I finish. Okay, so you guys have heard me talk about trick training and why I think it is so beneficial for developing your relationship with your dog, for helping with training issues and behavior issues. We're going to talk too about hiking with your dog and doing agility with your dog, and how these can benefit your dog's lifestyle, their quality of life, their health, mentally and physically, and how it also benefits your relationship. And it can help you with your training and behavior issues. It's just, I guess the point is really just do more with your dog. Dogs are a lot like children, and your relationship with your dog is, maybe even more like your spousal relationships than your children relationships. The more you put into the relationship, the more you're going to get out of it. And that's true in any relationship, whether it be children, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. Your relationship with God, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. Well, the same is true of the relationship with your dog. The more you put into the relationship, the more you get out of it. And I've run into so many dog owners that they say they love their dogs more than anything, more than their kids, more than their spouse. And, well, what do you do with your dog? Oh, we go for walks. Oh, you take them out hiking? No, we just go for a walk around the block. And I think to myself, okay, what kind of tricks do you do? Nothing. And I kind of wonder, like, well, what do you do with your dog? Well, I feed them and I take them for walks. And I go, well, that's good. But there's so much more to it than that. Now, I get it. Not every dog is physically able. Not every owner is physically able. And I get that. So, I tell people, do the best you can. But don't do the least you need to. Okay, so do you see the difference there? Don't do the least you can just to say, hey, I take good care of my dog. No. Go do the best you can, not the least. So let's break it down a little bit. Okay, I'll try to hold the phone so you can see some of the background too. But my arm won't get tired. So, exercise. Exercise is so important for dogs. I see so many overweight dogs and it just breaks my heart. Or dogs that aren't overweight, but they don't have the ability to jump up on the couch, or they get to a log and they're looking at their owner for help to go over it. Yes, and I'm not making that up. I actually saw that. And they have poor balance and poor hind end awareness and stiffness, and I see them run in a dog park and it looks like the dog doesn't have a clue really how to run. It's kind of funny sometimes, but sad too. And so exercise is so important. Keep in mind that your dog, geneticists have proven, are mostly wolf. And when you think about a wolf's life, they spend all their time tracking and hunting game to survive. Now, our dogs don't have that benefit of having that kind of motion all the time. They lay around in front of the TV, they lay around on the couch, you know, they don't have to hunt for their food because we plop it in a dish for them once or twice a day. So they need this exercise, and not only for their mental, not only for their physical health, but for their mental health. Some dogs just have just so much intelligence and so much activity going on in their heads that if you don't mentally get them tired, they start to act out. And that's when you have behavior issues like chewing on your shoes, chewing on wires, defecating in the house, peeing in the house. You know, dogs that have been taught not to do that, if all of a sudden they start doing it, it might be a health issue, or it might just be an exercise issue. So when somebody comes to me and says, well, I'm having behavior issues with my dog, one of the first things I ask them is, how much exercise do they get? Then next I ask them, what kind of food you're feeding? Because both exercise and poor diet can create behavior issues. So it's important that they get out there and get that exercise. Now, what constitutes good exercise? Okay, for every dog it's going to be a little bit different. You know, you might not be able to expect some dogs to do what other dogs do just based on their body build. But that's not 100% true either. I had a little Pomeranian Chihuahua that I used to get when I was younger, like the 9 through 13 age. I had a horse and I used to take her out horseback riding with me. And no, I don't mean she was on the horse. She was running alongside of us. If she did get tired, I'd plop her on my lap and she'd ride the horse with me. But a lot of that time she was on the ground following us. I also know a fella who's a mountain biker and he has a Yorkie that chases him through the woods, and he says she'll go for like 2 hours. Now keep in mind, when I have mountain biking videos where I talk about this a little bit more extensively, that's not 2 hours her running nonstop. Okay, that's not what that is. That's maybe doing 15 minutes at a slow trot for the dog, then maybe a 5-minute rest, and then maybe we'll do a short section at full tilt, and then we get another rest. So I'm not advising you to take your dog out and run them to death. That's not what this is about. This is about just getting your dog some more exercise, and not necessarily just around the block or around 2 blocks or whatever it is that you do with your dog. Different types of exercise. Walking around, don't get me wrong, walking around the block is great. And if that's all you can do, then great, that's all you can do. But if you are physically able to take your dog on a hike, I ask you, please try so. And if your dog doesn't have the training, seek out training to help you. Because when they get to go on a hike through the woods, this is more what their ancestors, what their instincts tell them they should be doing. We should be out roaming the woods like wolves do. So they get all these different smells, sights, sounds. And here's the big thing, they get to walk on different textures. You know, they get to walk on grass, dirt, rocks, gravel, leaves, sticks, logs. Let your dog walk across the log. They're going to be walking over sticks and roots and rocks and climbing over things. And let them climb over things. Let them climb up on stuff. Dogs like the height advantage. They get up there and they can look around and, let them, encourage them. And you'd be amazed what it'll do for their physical and mental condition, as well as their confidence. So if somebody says to me, my dog is afraid of everything, they have no confidence, I tell them, trick training will help, because when a dog succeeds, he feels more confident. But then take him out for hikes. It's one of the first things I tell people when they say, my dog is really shy and is scared of other dogs, scared of people. I go, you need to go hiking with him. And go hiking with a partner where the dog is really calm and well behaved. That's what I tell them to do. You'd be surprised at how their confidence level will increase. Hiking is one of the best exercises you can do with your dog because it utilizes all their muscles. It keeps them supple because listen, go for a walk a mile on a flat street. Then I want you to go out and do a mile on a hiking trail. And I don't mean like a really smooth flat one like what this is. I mean like a real hiking trail. And try to do it in the same amount of time. Okay? All right, you're going to see that it's different. Well, guess what? It's different for you. It's different for them too. Take your dog hiking. It's really, 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 really good for them. So on the same note, so is agility. A friend of mine has a dog who's a little shy and not confident. And since he started hiking with his dog, she's gotten a lot better. But now I told him, maybe he should do some agility with her too. Because it's the same thing. The dog gets to use different muscles. They get to have fun. They succeed at something. And it feels good. And it helps their confidence. When you're happy and feeling good, your confidence is better. Well, they're the same way. When they're happy and feeling good, their confidence is better. So, and agility will work a lot of those different muscles that a dog doesn't work just walking around. They get to do different things. And with agility, you're working together as a team. It comes back to that teamwork again. Where you're asking them to do something fun and then you're rewarding them for it. And they just think it's the greatest thing. I have seen a few dogs that don't like agility, but it's very few and far between. So I definitely recommend start hiking with your dog. Do agility with your dog. And it will help you in your other training areas. Trust me on this. Now, if you do go into agility, make sure that you have a coach or trainer that doesn't push you and your dog too hard and too fast, but doesn't hold you back either. That recognizes your dog's strengths and abilities and your strengths and abilities and helps to promote them, but then will help you correct your weaknesses. It's important to find a coach that you trust and that you get along well with and understands the physical aspects of agility, not just the mental aspects in the training. I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about Cookie has some back issues, and it looks like they're going to it's starting to affect her hips a little bit too. I hope not. We're praying not. But there are certain things in agility that my coach wanted to train her to do, and I really didn't want to because I felt it put too much strain on her because of her physical ailment. And it really does. So I had to find a different way of training her for certain things so that it wouldn't put such a strain on her physically. So it's important for you to find an agility coach that will respect that, because he or she may know more about agility, but chances are you know your dog, especially if you do a lot of work with your dog like I do with Cookie. It's important to find a coach too that understands that not every training technique works with every dog. And I've got some videos about this that teaching Cookie to do the weave pulls, the techniques that everybody uses just didn't work with Cookie. They frustrated her. She didn't understand what she was doing wrong and what was expected of her. And I finally had to say, you know what, we're not working on weave pulls anymore in class, I came up with something I'm gonna do myself at home, and within 15 minutes, it's not 15 minutes in one day, that was 2 minutes one day, 2 minutes the next day, 3 minutes the next day. Cumulative time, about 15 to 17 minutes, I had Cookie doing a whole set of weave pulls using the technique that I used. Because it was like, oh, that's what you want. So if you go into agility, it's really important to find a coach that understands that even though they may know everything about agility, sometimes that technique might not work with your dog, and you might need to try something a little different. Think outside the box, okay? So those are a couple of things that's really important to look out for. A coach that's willing to bend and work with you as part of your team. Because remember, you're a team doing this. The only way you're going to win anything in agility is if you and your dog work together well as a team, and that means your coach too, because while you're going through training and practice, your coach is part of your team. So that's my short video today about why I think hiking and agility is really good for your dog. If you're having any kind of training or behavior issues with your dog, I definitely think that you should try these two activities. It's just wonderful. It's so much fun. And it's really good for your dog. It's fun for your dog. I will say though, if you do agility and your dog looks like he's totally not interested, give it a little time and try to upscale your training a little bit to make it more exciting for him. Different treats or toys, be more upbeat, and don't demoralize your dog by correcting them when they've done something wrong. It was a big mistake I made in the beginning, I think. I would tell Cookie, oh, you did that wrong, nope. And it kind of demoralized her a little bit. So I had to stop doing that and had to add extra treats in there to get her back interested again. You know, especially with the weave poles, because she just couldn't get it. So, but now she loves it. She loves it. We go to the agility barn and she's like, all right, I'm ready to go. And today we only did a half hour. And when I said time to go, she gave me that look like, what do you mean it's time to go? So, yeah. Get your dog out in the woods. Don't worry about ticks. And everybody says, oh, I don't want to take my dog out in the woods because there's too many ticks. Well, guess what? There's ticks in your backyard too. And just as many. You know. So, I think that's it for now. I don't want to talk anymore. I want to just hike and have fun with my dog. So, where is she? There she is. So, be blessed, and go play with your dog.